Greetings, folks. You've reached DC Investing. I've reached financial independence, and I'm talking about topics that may help others to reach financial independence. And for fun today, I just thought I'd mention um, a problem that I see in the precious metal markets. So this could be gold investing, this could be silver investing, and I do own some shares of some ETFs that own gold. I have a little bit of physical metal. I've listened to various folks that talk about it as a diversifier for, against the S&P 500 or against the energy stocks. I own a lot of pipelines. So I do have a little bit of it. I own some miners as well. But the problem that I see as I listen to various YouTube channels and try to figure out the market is that precious metal owners in general seem to be on the older age scale. So if you look at the channels that are out there, maybe it's just the ones that I find, but the ones who sell precious metals, the ones who talk about precious metals, they're all old. And I'm old. So it's my generation or older that really seems to be interested in the precious metals. And I don't know if that is, over time you kind of learn more about things. But maybe you get wiser over time, and you see the wisdom behind holding some of the precious metals. But the problem is, if it's the older generation that owns precious metals, I do think government central banks are buying gold right now. There's some really interesting things that are happening through the COMEX, and kind of some shadowy things that are occurring. Somebody is buying a lot of gold, and it's not the retail investors. So something may be coming down the pipe that will surprise us all. And if you own some gold, you'll be really happy. But who knows? Who knows for sure? But overall, right now, I think it's really the older folks that are buying precious metals: gold, silver, platinum, those sorts of things. So I remember a time when Facebook was the big social media company, and everyone was on Facebook. It was new. Everyone was doing the Facebook thing. And then along came Instagram and Snapchat, and eventually it was TikTok. And those platforms took away the young folks who were on those platforms. And I remember Facebook really realized they had a problem because it was just the older generation that was still using their Facebook platform. The youth had moved somewhere else. And they could see that, hey, for us to stay relevant, we have got to reattract the young people, otherwise we'll eventually die out. And so Facebook bought Instagram, and they've successfully used the Instagram platform in order to kind of battle with Snapchat and TikTok to some extent. I think TikTok is definitely more popular these days than the Instagram platform is, but I know they're battling out and really trying to give it a go. But just like Facebook realized that, hey, we're in trouble, we need the youth, so let's buy Instagram. Let's change our name to Meta for the metaverse, so we sound cool and hip. That kind of idea, I think, is a problem for the precious metal market, because gold and silver used to be the money of our grandparents and great grandparents, and then that shifted to just paper currency. But now everything's digital, and what I see is the younger generations are much more interested in cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or Fartcoin or Dogecoin or whatever. It's the younger folks that are most interested in the cryptocurrencies. And unless the precious metal folks can convince the younger generation that gold and silver are money, gold and silver are the place to store your wealth, eventually the people who own precious metals will die out, and no one will care about gold and silver anymore. So that's the problem that I see in this market. Is we've got a youth issue. We've got to, if the prices of gold and silver are really going to go up, the younger generation has to latch onto that and realize, hey, there's value here. So there you go, kind of something to think about. Again, I do own precious metals. I do think I have a small portion just because I think it's good to diversify. I own some miners. I own some platinum, paper platinum. Um, it's done really well this year. You know, gold's up, all the miners are up. I'm enjoying the gains that I've gotten. So if you're a young person watching this, hey, take a look at the precious metal mining sector, because you know it's vastly outperformed the AI stocks this year in general overall. So I don't know, just some thoughts. What do you guys think? Um, is this something that you've observed? Do you think precious metals are going to be on their way out over time, or do you think it'll continue to grow? And will we get the younger folks involved? Like, subscribe. Thanks a bunch. Bye.